all my LGBT friends and others. We're going to start with Genesis chapter 21. But before I do that, I just wanted to say something about these rioters outside of Trump's venues where he's campaigning. I really feel, and I think many people do feel, that these people are being paid to do what they're doing, because it's a gut feeling. It's just something that I'm discerning that is happening, and it's too bad, because they're just making it worse for other people. And to have somebody say that, yeah, they don't care if they break U.S. laws and they come here illegally, and they don't care about our flag, they don't care about what it represents, they don't care about our laws. So if they don't, then they can go back from wherever they came from and come back here legally. That's how I feel about it. So just my 2 cents on the topic. And yeah, so all right, onward and upward with the Genesis thing. We're in the book of Genesis, and chapter 21 starts off with Isaac is born, Hagar and Ishmael cast forth, and an angel comforted her, and Amalek makes a covenant with Abraham. Okay, so, and the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bore to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, and as God had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old, and his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God had made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children? Suck, okay? For I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son. For the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing that was grievous in Abraham's sight, because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman. In all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And also of the son of the bondwoman I will make a nation, because he is thy seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and gave it to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed, and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went, and she sat down over against him, a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him, and lifted up her voice, and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven, and said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, hold him in thy hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad a drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass at the time that Amalek and Phicol, the chief captain of the hosts, spake unto Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou dost. And therefore swear unto me here by God, that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me, and the land wherein thou hast sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. And Abraham reproved Amalek because of a well of water which Amalek's servants had violently taken away. And Amalek said, I wot not who hath done this thing, neither didst thou tell me, neither yet heard I of it, but today. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave him unto Amalek, and both of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Amalek said unto Abraham, What mean these 7 ewe lambs which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, For these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because there they swore both of them. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba, and then Amalek rose up, and Phicol, and chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called there on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham sojourned in the Philistines' land many days. Chapter 22. Abraham offering Isaac. He is stayed by an angel. He is blessed again. Generations of Nahor unto Rebekah. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and a calf, the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went into the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place far off. Abraham said to his young men, Abide ye here with the ass. I and the lad will go up yonder, worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spoke unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And then they came to a place which God had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him upon the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called upon him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing that thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Raah. And it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of the heaven a second time, and said, By myself have I sworn with the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which it is upon the sea shore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Machpelah, she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor, and Hoots his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, and Shesed, and Hazo, and Fildash, and Japheth, and Belwael. And Belwael begat Rebekah, and these 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, and Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Ramah, and she bare also Tabah, Gaham, Talhash, Maacah. Chapter 23. Sarah, age and death. Purchase of Machpelah, where Sarah was buried. Machpelah, okay. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old, and there were the years of the life of Sarah. Sarah died in Kirjath Arba, the same is Hebron, in the land of Canaan, and Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead, and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my lord, thou art a mighty prince among us. In the choice of our scepters, bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his scepter, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth. And he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat me for Ephron the son of Zohar, that he may give me a cave of Machpelah, which he hath, and which is at the end of the field, for as much money as it is worth, he shall give it to me for a possession of a burying place amongst you. And I'm going to stop here, and I will continue on my next video. I'm at chapter 23, verse 10. Okay, thanks, guys.